Hello and welcome to our last week of CTEV 684. Yay, I know some of you are like, oh, I'm so excited to get this course done. I know that some of the content as well as the collaborative group work assignments and just the pace of the course has been overwhelming for some of you, while others of you have pushed through and kind of just adapted and adjusted, while others have had personal um, situations, being sick, family dynamics that have changed throughout the course of the 9 weeks, and you've just stuck in. So, I just want to say to you all that you've done a really great job, even with the errors and the things that have been missing, and also just overall challenges with the course. So I thank you for sticking in with me. I also thank you for the feedback that you have provided, as these items will um, help me to better the next course that I'm currently designing. So, couple of things for this week. Number one, if you have not turned in any assignments, now would be the time to get that done. I am grading what's in Canvas currently this weekend, and then I will be moving into giving you that space. I won't go back into the gradebook again until Friday evening. Technically, you have until 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just gave that time frame for the hours because I know that the class is set for Eastern Standard Time, which is 3 hours ahead of us. So that means that you have until about 3 a.m. to turn in your final project. If you are experiencing challenges with completing the work, now would be the time for you to let me know that, because I have a very small window in submitting my final grades. That is number one. So finals are due, obviously. Number two, participate in any collaborative group discussion that you choose. I went in to try to make sure that the posts are ready. I noticed that collaborative group 1 and collaborative group 2 have items placed there. The discussions are streamed in through the conversation, so I'm assuming you should respond to the first post. For example, collaborative group 1 started the conversation about uh, online learning or online group work, which I thought was pretty interesting, because it's funny how research says one thing and then students feel another. So I will be participating in all three of them just to kind of see what people are discussing and what they think is relevant for everyone else to read and discuss. Next, so make sure you participate in one of them. That's how you get your credit. You get your credit for posting. Your group has to have something there, and you get credit for contributing to someone else's group discussion and reading. If for some reason your group has not posted or placed your reading assignment, you can email me the item and I'll put it in. I went back and edited one of them with the PowerPoint, because the link, unless you use a specific email address, sometimes it's hard to access it through Google. So that's with the collaborative work. If there's anything else that you have not completed, I'm thinking off the top of my head, I didn't make a list this time, so excuse me if this is a little jammed with a lot of talking that's short and then paced. But if you have not completed collaborative group activities and you need a grade for that assignment, go in and complete it for yourself. Most of the things you've already done up to this point. For example, the practicing of using principles 2 and 3. Since you are creating lesson plans, you can feel free to go in and modify one of the ones that you've already created or one that you see in CAST. But the key thing is that it is finished. It is finished by Friday. By the time that you submit your final project, that it is finished. In regards to the midterms, I have created another submission link for midterm resubmissions because I wanted to keep those separate. What will happen is once you turn in your resubmission, I'll actually go into the old grade for that and change the grade, but I'll give you feedback on the new version that you submit. They were actually pretty good. I know that infusing UDL is not easy. I know from personal experience that the more intentional you get with your lesson planning, the harder it is and the more time consuming. So don't feel like you have to bite off a huge chunk. Some of you focus on a couple of checkpoints, others of you focus on a lot of the checkpoints for one of the principles. But the key thing is that whatever you do focus on, that you do it well. So for example, if you are focusing in principle 2. Maybe you'll focus in 2 of those checkpoints and enter, um, integrate all of those components of those 2 checkpoints into every aspect of your lesson. And then show evidence of it, and also show the sample work of the students, and also show the assessments that you're using. For the people who scored very well, the 2 examples that I gave you, you'll see a difference in final score. The reason why I included those is because they had one of them had all the dynamics that you needed to have, work samples, and also the assessments that were used in the class. Why is that important? Because a lot of you don't use descriptive details to describe the items that you're including. For me to grade it accurately and see alignment with your objective and also the principles and the checkpoints that you're saying that you're putting into your lesson, I actually need those items, especially if you're not detail oriented. Including them could be something very simple. Just take a picture of it, just add it as a additional source that you upload. But the more evidence that you have, the better that your overall project will be. I hope that the 2 examples I provided for you are useful. I had to wait until the submissions were actually in to be able to give you the exact project that I was looking for. Next, anything that's left empty will be noted as not something you didn't want to turn in. So I would strongly recommend that you do your best to get every item in. It is Saturday today, so you have technically until Saturday to get all items done and turned in. Now, the thing is, if you do turn your final project in early and I see something that's missing, I can submit it back to you. But as we get closer to the 21st, there will be no extra time for you to get feedback and resubmit. So please keep that in mind. I'm not telling you to rush and turn it in, but ideally, if you're turning your final project check-ins, you should have all the feedback that you need in addition to the midterm project. So use those. I only have 4 people who turned in a final project check-in too. So that means those 4 people will have the feedback they need prior to the project being due. The people who didn't turn it in, if you don't add anything there, you will get a 0 score for what was not submitted, as that was a required item to replace the independent practices. So if you have any questions, please email me or feel free to call. There was something wrong with my phone. I switched my phone carrier, so sorry about that. If you have tried to contact me, I didn't realize that my business line was a little strange, but that has been fixed, so you can feel free to call at any time. Tuesdays I typically have meetings at the other university that I work for, but other than that, I am free for discussion typically after 11 a.m. Okay, I wish you well for the remainder of the course, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you need any other support. And I thank you for being a part of this journey. And this is our last announcement. I look forward to participating in the last class discussion and reading and reviewing your final projects. Have a great day.